And we're live. Hey, and welcome. Noemi here, founder of Scalewave. Quickly, let me go also on Instagram. Go live. Great. Okay, cool. We have everything set up. Hey, and welcome. So, interesting background color today. I have the red and the pink light, and this is the outcome, which is not really on Scalewave team, but it's okay. Today is one of the days that everything is prepared, and I was super tired. I would say that having a baby, it's because of that, but actually not. She is just a wonder and joy, and yeah, she's amazing. I was working on some really cool stuff, exciting stuff for Scalewave, which kept me awake at night. Hence, here we are right now with this different background color. And they're like, okay, let's just give it a try. Okay, if that did not make sense in your world, in mine, somehow it did. All right, cool. Allow me to just quickly open up here everything that needs to be open in order to answer all the incoming questions. So hey, once again, and welcome. Mimi here, founder of Scaleway. Today's session is our 37th session of this kind. We're answering Amazon PPC / ads questions, and right now I'm just pulling up everything what I need in order to do so. We like to prioritize beginner questions simply because 6 years ago when I started this and I had all these questions, there was no one who could answer them in a simple way. So it's like, yeah, you can do this. I'm like, yes, I understand, but what should I prioritize as a beginner? And I did not really know or understand that. Hence, I'm creating these sessions on a weekly basis on Mondays from 1 p.m. EDT time when we're answering them. Now, really important, if you do have any other questions that are business related, feel free to drop them in the chat / comment section, whatever channel you're watching this, below. And okay, so here. Okay, confirming that everything is set up properly. We have it. Also, you can see my Tumblr. I do have inside Earl Grey tea, that is a black tea, and the reason that you see it white, simple reason, really, I like to add milk to my tea. This is something that I learned and picked up in Austria, by the way. It's lactose intolerance or lactose-free tea inside, not intolerance tea. Okay, cool. Whenever I am looking through lots of things, I'm just focusing on too many things at the same time. All right, let's focus on you because you are here and you honor me with your presence. Okay, once again, mic check, everything works. Our cat is meowing desperately from the other room. Happy that you cannot hear it. I do hear it, so kind of it's throw off right now. But there is no perfect way of doing stuff. This is the most perfect. It's by imperfection. Okay, long story short, let's start right away. We dedicate 45 minutes to these sessions. Now, if there are really no questions coming in, I'm just going to start early. If there are multiple questions coming in, I'm just going to prioritize those questions for the next session so you understand and know how these questions are asked and so on. Many questions are submitted via DM. Many questions are submitted via comments. Some of the questions are things that was asked by me directly, and I wanted to dedicate time that is not within my, time from strategy and so on, creation from clients. So all the questions that you're asking are part of any of that. Now, if you're not seeing the question in the comment section, again, no worry about that. We do stream right now on 3 different platforms in different formats, so that is the reason why. Quickly, let me drink. Okay. Awesome. Let's use my amazing Blistex medicated mint balm, which I absolutely adore. Right, here, pretty. Let's go. So, Cool. Again, if you just joined, hi, my name is Noemi. I'm the founder of ScaleWave. Today we have our 37th Amazon Ask Me Anything session, and I'm going to answer all questions that are Amazon related first. If you have any business related questions, hiring, firing, SOPs, processes, training, feel free to drop them in the comment section as well. First question goes, what should I do when my Amazon PPC campaigns keep running out of budget? Great question. We do need to identify the reason why. Now, some of the time when it comes down to it, what I'm saying, budget is the faucet, really, right? So basically it's going to allow you and spend like it's going to allow you to spend a certain amount of money on campaigns. Now, sometimes what can be is if these campaigns are not properly, tamed, it can spend more than you would want to. So sometimes the budget is going to run out just because your CPC is way too high, and that's the reason why, right? Another reason why it can be is because the traffic that you have for those campaigns is not well targeted. Hence, you're going to get many clicks, no sales. However, if it's running out of budget, actually we like to see that as a good thing, and whenever we're creating campaigns we would not allocate more than $20 budget for that. Why? It's because if we see that the campaign is running out of budget, and say this is the first day, right, and the first day you might not get attribution, so there's going to be an attribution lag of at least 2 to 3 business days, and once that we're logging back in even if one day if best, that it's going to showcase how much can I achieve with this campaign once that it's running out, right? And that is a good thing, because if, say, this campaign is bringing you sales but at 100% A cost, you're not going to dedicate spend or allocate spend from the campaigns that already work well, because Amazon, how it works is really based on relevancy, and whatever your bid submitted, Amazon considers that they're like high enough for you to get clicks. So this can mean if you're creating 10 campaigns and say that you're creating for each campaign $20 budget, there can be campaigns that are never going to consume for that budget. That can be also campaigns that are going to max out your budget. So this is why it's actually important. What we would do here specifically, we would let's see, if the A cost is high with orders but no blow up, really, it could be a bid placement SDR issue, not a budget cut. And that is also important for us to know, because otherwise we're just going to look into the wrong places. Okay, allow me to just skim through here quickly. Okay, but by the way, that was a great question. Okay, scrolling through. Usually I'm quick on these. Today, not so much. All right, next question is, when should I target competitor products with Amazon PPC? So we do have a technique and slash strategy called Conquer, and this is exactly what we're targeting, competitor products. We are going to use this strategy usually when our offer wins the product detail page comparison towards our competitor. So if pricing, reviews, images, features are better than the competitors that we would be targeting, those are going to become good targets for competitor targetings. We would prefer also ASINs that have similar price slash review also, not category king. So this is a really important distinction, because if you are a category king, you definitely should be targeting category kings, so you're going to take away market share. Now, when it comes down to the conquer strategy that we're applying a scale with, and we are targeting these competitors. These are listings that do not have like a lot of reviews, a lot of, they are poorly, you can piggyback on them basically, right? So either they're poorly designed, or the images are not that well suggesting of whatever the product is for, or there's no A plus content and so on. So we are piggybacking on someone else who, like, they did not pay attention to it, and we are piggybacking. Now, really important when it comes down to this, also we would start with a campaign budget that is a small budget. Reason for that is because we don't know how these campaigns are going to perform. So once that we are going to start the campaign, we are going to judge afterwards based on the conversion, how well did it convert, and then also on the ACOS, not really impressions. Impressions is just a vanity metric, but impressions are also a really good metric for you to see, should you be targeting those product detail pages or those ASINs first place. And here, this is a caveat, and I'm so happy that you asked this question, because it's interesting whenever we first created this type of campaigns and this strategy in ScaleWave, and we applied to our brands, and we had a junior Amazon ad strategy. We had a junior Amazon ads manager who was applying this technique, and it was like, okay, what is going on? Why do we don't even get impressions for those competitors that, yes, the checkbox was there. So price wise, product detail page wise, everything, we won over them. Once that they logged in, because I was like, how do we not get even impressions for those campaigns? The campaign was delivering, so what is going on? What I noticed is that they were out of stock, some of them. Some other images or products, they were like suspended. So it's really important whenever you're applying this strategy, you should be still focusing on targeting products that are there. They might have a lower search volume or so on, but impressions must be there. If impressions are not there, actually take that as a good sign of, hey, let me double check which are the products within this campaign that I added for targeting. I think that's a really, really good way. And what else is it important? So when it comes down to competitor products with Amazon ads, we would never mix here our products. So we have the strategy of protect, which is our products, and then strategy of conquer, which is someone else's product. We would never put our products inside the campaign of this kind of campaign. I know that that's kind of self-explanatory, but just wanted to give you as a heads up. Sometimes what we are seeing is when we're auditing ad accounts is that whoever managed the account, they might be mixing them. Again, I'm not sure if it was like on purpose or not. That is something that also I saw happening. So just letting you know. All right. Cool. What is the best way to manage PPC for products with multiple variations? Great question. So ads usually attach at parent level. So traffic will still convert, but to the child that wins the click. So this is really important, because we do have the strategy of whenever we have a listing that has multiple variations, and or in this case, let's say it's a color variation, right, or a size variation, we would be adding all sizes, and then based on the outcome for that campaign, we can say, okay, so M, for example, if you have clothing items, M is something that always converts. Now what we can do then strategically, we can be creating a campaign that is only for the M size. Or if we're selling 3 variations, color variations, black, blue, and white, and we see that constantly the black variation is the one that is winning the sale and it's converting really well with a very low ACOS, then we would be considering, maybe we could leave that product here in this campaign and then pause the other two. So that is the way how we would go about it. Really important, we do want to watch wasted spend on wrong variations. Why am I saying that? Is because sometimes what can happen, and here a clear example, one of the brands that we help managing their ads with, they had, again, the exactly this example of three color variations. So they had black, white, and actually green as color variations. And what happened for the green item or the black item, one of those, they got a frequently returned badge, which means is that even if that color variation performed really well with the frequently returned badge item there, conversion just like blew up and did not convert it anymore. So in that case, what we want to make sure is that first off, if you wanted to promote more the green item and you see that the black item still gets most of the spend, in that case, we would be pausing the black variation from that campaign itself. So that is really important distinction. I think really when it comes down to separating campaigns, ones that we are zooming out for clarity, ones that we understand what works, what does not, when it comes down to variations, only afterwards we would be creating different campaigns specifically for that variation. That is really important, especially if you have products that are that you have multiple variations and you're not sure which one to advertise. Now, this same strategy can be applied also to your whole catalog. Let me explain how would that work. So in this case, because the question was, if you have multiple variations, what would you do? Think of it as your whole catalog is the multiple variation of your brand. So in that case, what you can do, you can create a catch-all campaign. Technically, you're putting all your catalog within that campaign. Now, really important, you would treat this exactly the same way how you would treat multiple variation of the same item. Reason for that is what I'm noticing is that many people are discussing about the strategy of, yes, try out the catch-all like auto campaign and add all the catalog there and then see for like hope for the best. What we are seeing on our end is that each product, it can have its own ACOS, especially if the price is different, right? Now, why is that important is that ACOS is going to be different, but what else can happen is that there can be products that are never converting. In that case, you would be pausing that product, so you would be reallocating spend towards the product that are selling really well. And then what you can do, again, do the same thing with the multiple variations. In this case, what you would be doing if you see that constantly, let's say out of 5 products, one it's top performer and it's performing really well, you would be then creating a separate campaign for it. Again, this is a really good way of, if you don't know exactly which one works best or which one could work best, to apply it. Now, if you have the one product and it's product launch, you know exactly which is the product that you would be adding, so this doesn't apply. Let me know if that helps. Okay, and 19. Okay, I'm going to speed up answering questions because we answered only 3 questions so far. When should I use async targeting instead of keyword targeting? Great question. So basically, keywords are searching intent and asyncs are shoppers already comparing products. This is really important for you to know, because what we are noticing is that for some categories, it's cheaper for us to target exact search terms or exact keywords. In this case, they're not yet search terms. In other categories, such as supplements, where one CPC for the one keyword might cost even $20, we might be considering targeting first product pages, because someone probably already clicked within the listing and they are considering it, they are considering the listing or the product, but they're not really sure. They're scrolling down and they see our product there, and then, oh, actually, this is actually what I was paying for. So then the strategy there would be that they are going to pay the higher click, like CPC amount, and eventually, if they choose our product, we are going to be showing up under their product. So in that case, if the async targeting is cheaper, technically what we are doing, we are engineering for ourselves a way to pay less for advertising. Okay, what else? Again, when it comes down to PDP, it's really important. And when it comes down to async targeting, we would be piggybacking on someone else's listing. Example, if our listing is way better than theirs, clearly we should be using async targeting. we would not replace exact keyword targeting with async simply because the two are going to convert differently. And this is, I think, also important. And when you see that there are any products that you're targeting in this type of campaigns that are async targeting that are not relevant, you would be negate this. This is really important because what can happen is if you don't have those in exact match, but maybe as expression, or how it's called. But no, that's the shortening on inside bulk files. So there's a way how to have exact match and how to have products similar to that. So if you are setting up for products similar to that, so not exact match of the same async, it can be that you're getting products that are similar to it, yet it's not going to convert. That's really important to negate those products. I think that's all what I can think of right now, like top of mind when it comes down to that question. Great questions, again, love them. Okay, so what's the difference between ACOS and tacos? Which first? So basically, ACOS is your ad spend divided to your ad sales, and it's going to show your campaign or keyword efficiency. Tacos is going to be your ad spend divided to your total sales, and this is going to show you your business health ad dependency. Now, really important, ACOS and tacos, especially if you are running a product launch, they can be very close to each other, even if sometimes even the same thing, right? So it can be a 50% tacos, even to like whatever is going on your account, and it can be super high ACOS, and that's totally cool. Where we want to go is making sure that we are lowering the tacos as much as possible for us to be profitable. Again, something else to like between the two ACOS and tacos. Day-to-day bid cuts, this is going to be ACOS based because we don't have access to tacos. We're not bidding because of tacos. Tacos, it's influenced by so many things that we do not control on the on the ad side. So whenever we are going to, let's say, cut bids, in this scenario, we are going to do it on tacos base. Now, when it comes down to an account goal, that is tacos based. And tacos based, basically there, what you can do is how much do you want to depend on ads or not? And or how can you improve your conversion to still depend on ads but convert better? So that's really important. That is a good way how to improve tacos. What else? Really important, failing ACOS and rising tacos can mean organic is ranking, and this is really important because what I see so many ad managers celebrate is that they manage to lower their ACOS, and they're showing you the ACOS because that is a PPC metric. They would not show your tacos. Now, really important when it comes down to efficiency. Yes, while that can show ad efficiency, it can overall show that your organic ranking is dying. So do not celebrate just yet. When it comes down to launches, again, because these two are going to be very important, as I was saying, tacos is going to be very, very high usually. Here we would tolerate both higher tacos and ACOS. This is a planned bet. It's not something that you think is going to happen. This is what we're planning for. That means that our advertising efforts work. Now, the next step is going to be how do we make sure that we're converting better and or cheaper and even both, right? Something else that comes down to this topic as well, mature brands, when it comes down to ACOS and tacos, usually they are going to win on tacos trend, not on the pretty campaign ACOS, There are so many like posts again that are like, these campaigns are so pretty when it comes down to ACOS, but it's going to be on a tacos level. Here again, some examples. Whenever we're doing ad account audits, we are interested to see what is their current tacos, because that is, if that is too low, say they are 5% tacos, that means there's still so much room for us to spend more on advertising that is going to work for them. So just because they have a low tacos, that is not necessarily something that we should be celebrating just yet. Instead, let's bump up tacos. We're still profitable, but making sure that they are creating new ads so they can win more market share. Super, super, like all the stacks, all the strategies. Hope that you appreciate that. All right, what is a good ACAS? Great question. I did ask for beginner questions. I did receive them. And these are one of the most important questions that if you're not asking, you're going to judge that every outcome that you would have in your ad console, it's either too good, either too bad, either you don't know how to duplicate success, which we want to avoid. That's why you are here. So answering that, there's really no good universal ACOS. I know that many people are again posting on LinkedIn. I'm following lots of thought leaders and not thought leaders, but they think that they are thought leaders. So whenever they're posting, they're always going to say, "Hey, this is the universal ACOS on all accounts that we manage." And I'm like, yes. And this means that all accounts that you manage must have the same net margin, because otherwise there's no explanation for that. So when it comes down to good ACOS, there's no universal good ACOS, only versus your break-even target ACOS. Now, let me know. Now, allow me to explain what does target ACOS and break-even ACOS is. So let's say if your margin before ads is 35% and your ACOS is higher than the 35%, that basically you are losing money on that attributed sale. If your ACOS is below that 35%, you are making money with that attributed sale. And then based on that, you can decide, okay, what would you like your ACOS be? Specifically, we have one of the brands that we just onboarded not long ago, like in 2-3 weeks ago, and they were very specific. Look, this is our target ACOS, 22% target ACOS, and we are working towards that. Now, really important is that everything that their break-even ACOS actually is 40%. So what I saw on their account. However, they are targeting the 22% because that would be an account-wise target. So they are at least 2 to 3x profitable on their ads. Again, it's important to know those things because that is going to help you strategize further. Again, when it comes down to benchmarks, there's a saying that it's like 30 to 38%. It's a median good ACOS. Again, those are noise without your margin. So you must know your margin and then based on that define. Why am I saying that is because, again, one of the brands that even before we take them on, they were saying, hey, everyone's making money but us. All the agencies, all the creative teams, everyone is making money but us, and we want to make money. And then once that we audited their ad account, we noticed that their ACOS was already super low. It was like 20%. However, they were still unprofitable. So that's why it's really important to know what is your break-even ACOS, and from there to plan for next things. Again, when it comes down to what is a good ACOS when we are launching a product, we would be judging it by stage. So that is the launch phase, and then we're expecting to have a high ACOS. This is very similar also whenever we would be launching new campaigns that we have not yet tested, proved that those keywords are going to work. Again, the ACOS for those campaigns are going to be higher. Still, when it comes down to profit ASINs margins, they should still sit under that break-even ACOS. Let me see. Something else top of mind when it comes down to good ACOS. So we are like closing the circle. Branded terms can often look like they have good ACOS when in fact they are cheap because your competitors are not yet bidding on them. Again, one of those cases that we just an account that we audited, what we saw is that right now they have 50-50 split. So they have 50% of their sales are coming from branded terms, 50% of their sales are coming from non-branded terms. Now, really important that I just noticed yesterday. So while there is a clear split and quite equal split, I would say, if your branded terms ACOS is higher than the non-branded terms, that means that someone really sees your product and they are just competing on it. And that is going to be very hard for you to continue to compete with, because you would say, hey, I'm paying for my branded terms that are more expensive. Should I go and double down on non-branded terms? No, you should never. Why? Is because if you are winning, if you are losing the war of competing for your own branded terms, branded keywords in this case, that is something like they are taking up your market share, and that's something we cannot allow. All right, we answered that question. Let me also drink some. Again, if you just joined, hey, Noemi here, founder of ScaleWave. We are continuing our Amazon Ask Me Anything session. Today, this is the 37th session. Super excited for some reason. 37, it's my favorite number. There's no, I mean, there is like the perfection and the trinity and so on. But really, I think just it's a beautiful number to have. All right, let's go get things done. We answered 6 questions so far. We still have 15 more minutes to go. Let's do this. A follow-up to the previous question, it was, how do I calculate break-even ACOS and what if a keyword is above it? Great. So it's really important for us to know the break-even ACOS, and the way how we are going to calculate it is break-even ACOS is sales price minus COGS, minus fees, minus other COGS, then divided by sale price. And that basically it's going to be a percentage. Now that percentage, whenever you're going in your ad console and you're going to see, hey, my ads, it says that it's 80% ACOS. If your break-even ACOS is 50%, that means that you are paying more for ads and that you're not profitable on that. We have that nailed down, right? So we understand now how we calculate the break-even ACOS. So everything above break-even with enough clicks, you would cut bids here. Really important, you're not stopping the campaign, you're not pausing it, you're finally generating sales. What you want to get is generate the same amount or similar amount of sales with the least amount of spend as possible. And here what you would do, as I was saying, you would cut bid, you would tighten match times, or even pause if you see that there's really no conversion. You don't hope. There's no reason to hope here. If you see clearly, I got 20 clicks, it's not converting. It's one of the keywords that I want to rank for. Right now, it's not working for me. You are going to the second keyword. So you're not going to just hope for it for conversion. Now, when it comes down to break-even ACOS, the next thing can be is that you're near break-even ACOS, but strategically. So you have rank or defense campaigns / protect campaigns. In this case, we would keep a clear budget cut or cap in this case, because that is going to allow us to cut the spend whenever it's not anymore like making sense for us. But yet still we cannot cut the campaign itself. Really, really important. And whenever you would be below your break-even ACOS and it has volume, for example, you would be scaling your bids budget carefully. Why? It's because, again, you're learning from experience, either from yourself, either from others' experience. Back when I started running ads for our own brands, what I noticed is that I was so excited that, oh, amazing, now I'm cutting even more the bids and I get more sales and things are working well. What happened is that I continued cutting bids and then I just lost all the sales. So really, really important whenever you are below break-even ACOS, yet you have, say, 20 orders for that specific keyword and or even product targeting, be very cautious. These are the things that I can think top of mind right now. Okay, answer that question. Next question is, how do I use search terms report? Great. So I do have a full in-depth video on step-by-step process on what could we do or what we are currently doing at ScaleWave, what you could do, that's a better way to put it, with a spreadsheet that is, available to you for making a copy of it, Of course, in Scaleway, we do have now way more complex ways of dealing with this. But as a rule of thumb of if you want to start, if you want to learn, that is where I would advise you to go. So YouTube channel, search term reports, and then you're going to find this video that I created. It's a tutorial basically. But when it comes down to search terms, now, there are a few rule of thumbs when it comes down to what are the best practices or what are the best practices now we are doing in Scaleway. We will be pulling enough windows, so at least 30 to 60 days. So you're not reacting to 2 bad days, 3 bad days even. Why? It's because then you can notice a pattern, and based on that pattern, you can decide either you're pausing, either you're harvesting, either you are going to just reconsider your keywords on, hey, can I use this keyword to add it into my listing as well? Now, when it comes down to harvesting, we would be taking converting terms and then add them in exact or phrase matches with their own bids, right? When it comes down to negation, we would be looking at whatever has high clicks and or spend, but it has 0 orders. Why? Because those are important to negate. Because we don't want to spend on them anymore. And here, really important when it comes down to this negation, do not negate anything that is branded in the campaign if it's a protect campaign, for example. Why? Is because it's not going to generate any more sales. Again, seems obvious, but sometimes at the beginning it did happen to us, or it did happen to me, to be super honest. And yeah, I did that. I should have not. You would be using your search terms in this way. When it comes down to a weekly cadence, that is really good way of managing this. You could do it on a weekly, even monthly basis rather than daily panic. Why? Because that is really important for you to know exactly what to negate. Now, very important distinction, because this is something that we just had last week on Friday. Hey Ron, if you're watching, we just had a walkthrough of their account. And what happened in their account, they created campaigns where they added multiple products. And this is not anymore similar to search terms when we would be waiting for a month, but they added multiple products, and some of the products had already 700 clicks and did not convert it. So they spent at least $600, $700 on things that did not convert it. So that is not the same thing, or it's not the same way how we would be strategizing for search term reports. Search term reports is the keywords / products itself that are coming up that you might be considering negating or advertising. The other example that I just gave you, where you have multiple products added on a campaign level, that is something that we would be looking up every 3 to 7 days, because we don't want to get clicks for things that are, we clearly see that it's not going to convert, especially if there are a bunch of products within the same campaign. Let me know if that helped. Certainly hope that it did. Great question. Is cross-category targeting allowed in Amazon PPC? Example, targeting pet supplies, ASINs from home and kitchen. Can I get impressions, or does the algorithm block it for relevance? Great question. So you definitely can get impressions. The way how I know this is simply because we were testing, a few phrase matches, and this was for a drink. And it was a natural drink, green type of drink. Now, we got clicks and lots of clicks for green sweater, which makes me believe that, yes, Amazon does want to consume our money. So in this case, we came up for search terms that are really not relevant to our listing. It was not within the listing, so you cannot argue that it was an indexing thing, and that's why Amazon thought, oh, I saw in the listing that it says green sweater, and I'm going to run ads for that. So yes, there is 100% a way to get that, and there is again, we just discovered this because it was a too broad of a match. Like, it was a phrase match. No, it was It was a broad modified match, which basically means that we had the keyword green, so the root green, like with the plus sign in front, and for that we trigger lots of non-relevant terms to our product. And this is the way how we found out that yes, actually Amazon is going to cross-sell or cross-target your product if you allow it to, and if you are just like you have just that keyword and you have nothing negative on the keyword. Let me know if that helped. What's your rule for negative keywords? That's the next question. Let me drink some. Um, so when it comes down to negative keywords, we have this rule of thumb of it's a negative exact when it is a clear search term that has more than one root keywords. And there's going to be a negative phrase for something that is a toxic root. Allow me to explain. I was just working, as I was saying, on some cool software Scaleway, and I was pulling n-gram analysis. And then it was, this is the best practice that the first two root keywords, you're going to add them in phrase match. And I was like, that is BS. It's not the case. Because let's say if you're selling cat scratch furniture protector, if you're going to add negative in phrase match cat scratch, those are my main keywords for that campaign. Like, I'm going to block all the traffic possible. So in that case, if let's say someone was looking for an XL cat scratch furniture protector and my product is a medium or a small, it's not an XL, then XL is the word that is going to become in phrase match, negative phrase match, not the whole thing, not 2 grams. And this is really important because if you're going to miss this, you're going to block search terms that are relevant for your listing and you're not going to convert at all. Super helpful. Let me know if this makes sense for you. Right now, for me, it's like totally, yeah, it makes sense, but it's still like best practice based on, the latest, the up-to-date 2026 blogs that I'm following or advertisers that are talking about this, that you should be adding 2 keywords as phrase match. No, you should be adding only a root that is completely irrelevant. Another example, let's say this, I'm not sure how much ounces, but let's say this is like a 1 liter, tumbler. Everything that it comes out for 500 milliliter, I would have it in negative phrase match because my product is not a 500. My product is the 1000 milliliter, so 1 liter. Again, good rule of thumb when it comes down to this. You would never negate brand terms, own ASINs, converting routes in a campaign. You would always make sure that you would prefer exact first and then phrase match. Reason for that, again, we don't want to end up with gating positive or relevant search terms. Okay, I think this is going to be my last one because it's 44 a day. I'm out of breath. We answered only 10, 11 questions, but still, I think these are important. Auto versus manual or both. Love it. We do both. Auto/broad, this is going to be more of a discovery strategy. And when it comes down to manual, we like to do manual exact, and this is going to be for control and scale. Now, when it comes down to manual, we also like to do phrase match because that's something that we're seeing performing better. Broad match can also perform well if you have modified broad, so you have only the root keyword and you have lots of negatives in that campaign, things that you for sure don't want to show up for. I just gave the example. We were selling a product that it was a green drink and which came up with for green sweater, which it's not our product, right? Now, really important, we would be making sure that for auto budgets, we are going to keep them small because we are mining keywords. They're not floods, right? So if it comes down to campaign creation, say we're creating 5 campaigns out of which the auto should have the $20 budget, the exact match maybe the $50 budget in this case, if we know that that is the exact keyword that we want to rank for. What we would do also weekly, we would promote winners, so from auto to exact or even broad modified, and we would be negating losing terms in auto. Something else that's really important here, if your auto ACOS is very high, but feeding exact winners, we would be judging the system, not one campaign. That's why it's really important that sometimes in auto, exact matches are going to just show up and yeah, it's not going to perform that well. In exact match are going to perform better. Really, it's just you're testing it, right? If, rule of thumb, if in an auto campaign, match that you would like to have exact, it's performing well, never pause it in that campaign, because it's going to be really helpful for you to get those sales, even if it's not in exact campaign. And that is a wrap. Thank you so much for everyone joining. Again, my name is Noemi. I'm the founder of ScaleWave. It was a pleasure to have you here on. Now, really important, if you are currently running ads and you're spending at least $5,000 on your advertising, feel free to book a quick call with me. What I will be doing is going through your account, showing quickly what works, what does not work in your account, and what are the things strategically that we at ScaleWave would implement. Now you can take that, run with it, and implement it yourself if you're the self-doer, or if you're really looking for a partner who supports you, sustains whatever your goals are, and really importantly, can save you time, can make you more money, and also can help you scale where you only thought that there's no way for you to scale. If those are the things that you're looking for, feel free to book a quick call with me. It's going to be very quick. The data is going to be shown very quickly, so it's going to be helpful for you to decide what is next. That being said, if you enjoyed this, feel free to join next Monday when I will be back at 1 p.m. EDT time. Till then, be good, take care, and have a wonderful day ahead. Ciao.